So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Mark Twain Library is proud and honored to present our three speakers with this program, Explore Connecticut Summertime Fun. This is a webinar, so we cannot see or hear you out there, wherever you're watching from, but thank you for joining us. We welcome your questions in the chat and the Q&A. The chat is easier for us to use, but we will be keeping an eye on both. So feel free to use them both, but preferably the chat. And this program is being recorded. So it'll be posted on the Mark Twain Library's YouTube channel in a few days. You can share it with friends then once it's posted on the Mark Twain Library's website. So I'd like to first start by introducing Michelle Falcone. She'll be our first speaker tonight, and then she'll subsequently introduce Frank and Kim. But to start off, Michelle's the founder of Celebrate Connecticut. After years of planning events for local organizations, she decided to use her love of Connecticut and celebrations to help others discover the joys of meandering the Nutmeg State. Since 2016, Michelle's been planning custom excursions and tours throughout the state, whether it's a romantic weekend or a gathering of friends to celebrate a milestone birthday, reunion, retirement, or for any reason. Michelle enjoys planning every detail. Michelle works with travel writers and tour guides to design themed outings. A resident of Connecticut for 25 years, she has a passion for all things Connecticut. And some of you probably attended our program in the fall with the same fantastic trio. And so welcome back, and I'll turn it over to Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see you all. Welcome to tonight's program. I'd like to thank Amy Nonnenbacher and Program Director at the Mark Twain Library, Elaine Saunders, for inviting us back again. I am so thrilled to be here co-hosting with Frank Pagliaro and Kim Beckius, who also share a deep passion and appreciation for all things Connecticut. So I'll do a little intro of them now, and because then we can just go right into Frank's presentation and then Kim's portion of the program. So I know Frank as a talented musician, artist, tour guide, history enthusiast, and honestly we're so lucky that he's retired from his long career in finance, because now he can devote all of his time to things like this and programs such as this. So thanks so much, Frank. I'm so glad you're here with us. Kim, a contributing editor at Yankee Magazine. She's written so many books, several of them on New England and travel in New England. She brings extensive knowledge and savvy travel advice to this program. She's a talented photographer, an amazing tour guide, and given her crazy, insane travel and workload, I am so glad that she is with us here tonight as well. So I'd like to also thank, before we begin, my good friend Stacy Litwin, who could not be here tonight, but she continues to inspire me with her wonderful work. She's an amazing researcher, writer, exceptional writer. Her book, Consummate Connecticut, which was published about 13 years ago, actually inspired me to start a Connecticut tour company. So I thank her so much. She's multi-talented, and lucky for me and for all of you, she helped with so much of the research that went into this presentation, and she also created the beautiful PowerPoint that I am going to open up. Hopefully I can share the screen with you easily. So we can begin. Okay. Maybe, Frank, can you tell me, am I sharing the screen, or Amy or somebody?
No, nothing's up there yet. Did you double click on it?
Let me double click. I was trying to bring it up without, I kind of wanted to do it so that my presentation would come out. Tell me if it's up there now.
No, not yet.
Okay. Three's a charm, right? Here we go. Are we good?
No.
Yikes. Okay.
Oh, there it goes.
Yay. Okay. Thanks everybody for your patience. I so appreciate that. So after so many months of restrictions, we can finally say yes to travel. Yes, 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 yes. In fact, the state of Connecticut's summer campaign is say yes to Connecticut. Say yes. So visitor centers are finally open. Connecticut welcomes travelers to enjoy everything this wonderful tiny state has to offer. And yikes, yes, a very tiny state, 110 miles long, 70 miles wide, but so big on personality and so much to offer. And there is just so much to explore. So let's start exploring. My presentation, or my portion of tonight's program, is going to highlight my A-list of accommodations, among many other surprises, in the western region of Connecticut. And if you look at the map here, you'll see the region highlighted, Fairfield County in green, the Litchfield and Naugatuck area in orange. And I'd like to start exploring with you. And let's begin in Fairfield County, where you'll find a cluster of towns along 30 miles of beautiful shoreline. Dozens of cities, including Bridgeport, the largest in the state, one of my favorites, which, you know, you can go to the Barnum Museum there, many parks and beaches. In fact, it's called Park City for that reason. Hundreds of lakes, including the iconic Candlewood, nationally acclaimed aquarium, the Maritime Aquarium, and so many lighthouses. Oh my gosh, in Fairfield County alone, there are 11 lighthouses. There's a picture on the bottom there of Stratford Point Lighthouse. We have a ferry to Long Island. If you'd like to take that ferry, it's out of Bridgeport and into Port Jefferson. We have so many Audubon centers, conservatories, sanctuaries, museums, art studios. I put a little picture of the Nest Arts Factory, one of my favorite art studios around, and they have over 40 artists with open studios a couple times a year. They're moving their space. I encourage you to check them out. We've got tons of dining, shopping, concert venues, tons of farms, beautiful trails. The Saugatuck in Westport, one of my favorites. Okay, here is a little map showing you all the lighthouses in Connecticut. It would probably take you years to visit them all, but a pretty cool and neat goal. So, okay, with so many choices of things to do, so many choices of places to stay, my last Google search of accommodations in Fairfield County gave me a list of 127 places. So my gosh, that would definitely increase my stress hormone levels. And I'd like to help you like lower the tension and maybe feel less stress when booking your, your next visit to Connecticut, and consider a stay at Hotel Zero in Norwalk or Hotel Zero in Danbury. Both places are chic boutique hotels that offer so much. Their destinations onto themselves with a chill out vibe, but very cool modern amenities. I actually stumbled upon the Danbury Hotel Zero by accident. I was going to pick up clients. I made a wrong turn, and there I was at this beautiful looking, what looked like a beautiful lodge. And come to find out, it's this very chic boutique hotel with a lot of cool space. You can see these gorgeous rooms inside. The patio on the rooftop 353 in Norwalk has ping pong tables, billiard tables, cornhole, tons and tons of lounge seating, couches. Great spot to reconnect with family and friends. It's my best guess that no one wants to really host anybody in their houses after a year at home. So I highly recommend checking out one of these places to book, a gathering for friends, family, a corporate retreat, whatever it is, or you might just need to get away. So the two-story atrium is something to see in Norwalk. It's a gorgeous space, over 2,500 square feet of meeting space. So again, perfect for reunions, corporate retreats, and all of that. The restaurants are phenomenal. Again, I mentioned the Skytop 353. The The Danbury location has Terra Restaurant, a phenomenal restaurant, Italian cuisine, over 100 varieties of wines. I can't say enough great things about it. Again, South Norwalk, so much to do. Get your walking shoes on after you work out in that incredible gym that they have at either location. If you're going to Norwalk, you can see the whole city, this historic district by foot, over 30 options of dining and places to drink, and tons of places to see. If you look at the bottom of this slide, you'll see the Danbury location. It's so beautiful. That's the outside of the restaurant. In the middle is the lawn. That is the beautiful outdoor space at Hotel Zero in Danbury. I can't say enough nice things about it. It's got a fire pit, as you can see, and it's just the most welcoming and inviting space. Downtown Danbury has also so much. We can't forget about the Danbury Fair Mall. I used to go there as a kid. It was a big deal. It was our once a year day trip venture into Connecticut. Also, before I forget, I want to mention that the South Norwalk Sono Collection is a new mall in downtown Norwalk, not to be missed. High-end shopping, very welcoming for children, lots of little activities throughout the mall for people to sit and kind of chat and do. I mean, we can do this now. This is so exciting. Everybody will be so excited even to go to a mall, but this literally is a destination in itself. Lots of beautiful shops. And again, same for downtown Danbury. So also in Fairfield County, I am going to give you my top favorite for this summer. It is the Surfside Hotel in Stratford. I have watched this place being completely redone. I am so excited that it is finally open. What can I say? It's on the beach. It's 1,000 feet from the seawall. You get off, it's easy to access off 95. The place has everything you can need for a dream vacation. You do not even have to leave the premises. They've got bikes on hand to rent. You can have all kinds of healing services in your room, including massage. They have the Little Pub restaurant on the property. In fact, the owners of Little Pub, this is their 5th Little Pub, they own the hotel. They are so personable. Every little touch in this place is so remarkable, including etchings on the walls, quotes inscribed on the keychains. They have an adorable a little gift shop that you could also purchase nautical themed items online as well. I can't even I wish I put a picture in of the room with the surfboard. Each room has a cool surfboard inside. It is just such a fun place. The last time I was there, the family's out on the beach playing with their kids. Pets are welcome. Does it get any better than that? I really don't think so. I want to say there's about 114 rooms, but I might be mixing up my accommodations. I will definitely confirm that. But really can't say enough. The beach is gorgeous. The neighborhood is beautiful. What I love is that they are collaborating with the community. We've got so much in Stratford, and they are doing brewery tours. We've got 2 roads there and so many other of their events. I think they've got 60 events planned from now to Labor Day and adding more, where they're involving so many of the community shops and breweries and all of that good stuff. So I highly recommend Surfside. I also really like Delamar Southport. I don't know how many of you on this webinar tonight are local. You may have eaten here, you may not have, but I highly recommend it. The restaurant is fabulous. They've got a full service spa, beautiful amenities, luxury and sophisticated, right in the heart of Southport, but very private. The patio outside the artisan restaurant is so private and so much fun. I highly recommend it for a private event, for a gathering. And here I put some pictures from Artisan. Also on the bottom are some more pictures from the Little Pub from the Surfside Hotel. Like I said, my new favorite summertime destination. Local destination. Anyway, if you look at the slide on the bottom right, that's from Riley's, which is right across the street. And while eating there, I watched it couldn't have been last year, it's actually probably the year before. I watched them building the Surfside Hotel. Anyway, Riley's has expanded their patio. There's lots more space. Again, a gorgeous view of the ocean. and very close to downtown Stratford. I give this store a slide of its own. It's my absolute favorite for nautical themed decor and so much more. It is a phenomenal gift shop. I can't say enough nice things about Mellow Monkey and the fabulous owner, Howard. He's wonderful. He's amazing. He does great events on Thursday nights, live Facebook events. He's done an amazing job through this pandemic. I can't stress that enough. The store keeps expanding. He keeps adding more. It's a hop, skip, and a jump from the Surfside Hotel. And if you've got visitors coming from out of town and you want to give them that little novelty gift, that's a little signature Connecticut gift, I highly recommend going to Mellow Monkey. Anyway, so that I can't say enough things. I also want to recommend some places in Fairfield that I absolutely love. I don't know if any of you out there recognize the Hotel Hi-Ho. It was the Motel Hi-Ho for a while, I think, for many years. Landmark place. I drove by it for 20 something years, probably 25 years before I ever stepped foot inside one of the rooms. They renovated. It's so chic and cool, and you would probably never think that maybe. I mean, you know, it's so unassuming, but a fabulous place to stay. If you have guests and you really don't want them staying at your house, I can tell you that's a perfect location. A few miles from the beach, a few miles from all the wonderful farms in Easton and Reading, fabulous restaurants in downtown Fairfield, only a few miles away, fabulous restaurants in Reading, just north up Route 59. Highly recommend it. I love Barcelona Wine Bar, and so do many visitors who come to visit me. It's always a meeting place. Great patio overlooking the phenomenal, iconic Merritt Parkway. And of course, I say that because I never sit in traffic on the Merritt. I don't have to do the commute, but when I do, and I do often go down on the Merritt, and I absolutely love taking in the beautiful parkway and the bridges and all of that. So I hope on your next drive, you will take time to do that too. I love the Inn at Fairfield. Again, airy, roomy, clean, fresh, great beachy vibe. Here's a couple of shots of the dining at Barcelona Wine Bar. I love this place. It's got a great Spanish-inspired menu with tons of tapas, amazing wines, and a very retro feel. Very cool. And like I said, just a few miles to downtown Fairfield with great shopping. So moving on down a little bit south, I have to recommend Delamar Greenwich as well, the sister hotel to the Delamar Southport. Phenomenal place as well. Great full service spa on the harbor, which is really nice. So great views of the harbor. If you haven't been, it's a great place to go even for dinner. The French restaurant La Scale is amazing, and the chefs at both hotel, the executive chef, I'm gonna look up his name again. He's an acclaimed chef. He designs and creates the menus at both of these hotels. Again, full service spa. Guess what? You can bring your pets. I know it looks so luxurious. You would never believe it. Bring the kids, bring the pets, have a great time. If you're looking for someplace a little more homey and a little more like home, but very spacious, bring the entire family for a family reunion, I recommend Stanton House Inn in Greenwich. Over 20 rooms, very spacious. What I love about this place, down at the bottom is the picture of the Stanton House. Beautiful property, lush gardens. The rooms are spread out throughout the mansion. I mean, tucked away in little corners here and there to offer so much privacy. You can bring, so many people there, and you probably not even run into each other if you don't want to. I love that place. And a great bonus of the Stanton House is they have a very large, immaculate pool. Many of the inns don't have pools. They have a pool. Your kids would love it. But if you want to ditch the kids and ditch the pets, I recommend Homestead in Greenwich, Thomas Henkelman. This place really, really just, I have to say, I was mesmerized driving in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am just drawn to that beautiful wraparound porch, those lush gardens. Oh my gosh, the patio, the rooms. I mean, I was just so taken by all of it. I parked my car, walked in the front door. I didn't even tell them I was coming. I got an amazing tour. Tom's in the garden, gardening. Imagine the owner's gardening. He's cooking. He's doing everything. You're going to get so much love at this place. And guess what? I heard Robert De Niro has a favorite room here. So I cannot wait to book my stay. I can't wait to enjoy the phenomenal cooking, the phenomenal food, and every room just gorgeous. You can see inside the dining rooms here, the 2 slides on the right. And then on the left, I included a picture from La Scale, Delamar Greenwich, also very beautiful dining room. I just can't say enough nice things about all of these places. So here's our little version of Rodeo Drive, Greenwich Ave, beautiful upscale shopping. I feel so great when I'm walking down Greenwich Ave because most of the stores I can't afford to shop in, but it's just so much fun to kind of walk up and down Greenwich Avenue. And so next I want to move on, and I apologize for going so quickly. I'm going to be available not only after this, but you can email me at any point, any questions for more, more information. But I want to move on to the Litchfield Hills area. I would like to just give you a little synopsis about the Litchfield Hills area. Litchfield has geographically, it's the largest county, but the lowest population, 900 plus square miles of beautiful rolling hills. Connecticut's largest body of water, Bantam Lake, natural body of water, I should say. I believe Candlewood is bigger, but 24 miles of total water. It is a hiker's paradise with over 2,000 acres of open space. Cascading waterfalls is a picture there of Kent waterfalls. Really just gorgeous. On my last trip to Litchfield a couple of weeks ago, it had rained all morning. And then I'm driving through all of these gorgeous towns and everything looked so green. I felt like I was in Ireland. It was amazing. So anyway, there's lots of historic landmarks, homesteads, beautiful town greens. It is no wonder why Amy Palladino was inspired to write Gilmore Girls after a stay at the Mayflower. There is no doubt in my mind that she had stumbled upon these gorgeous town greens and felt so compelled to write that wonderful series. We've got world-renowned inns and spas and restaurants and antique shops all over the Litchfield Hills area. A myriad of farms, including world-famous Arethusa, and so much more. There's breweries, distilleries. I mean, every single town has a handful. So where am I recommending you stay? I would love to see everyone have an experience at Mayflower if you can. You can even bring your kids and your pets. Again, these luxury, beautiful places have even, I think, made it more not only family friendly, but more affordable. There are some deals here and there. I love this place. It is on 58 sprawling, beautiful acres, nestled into the hills. It's just so pretty. You can see from the pictures, it says it all. Here's a picture of the dining room. In fact, they have a chef in residence, April Bloomfield, straight from New York. She's an award-winning chef. She's, spent her time with revolutionary chefs, and she was awarded one of the highest awards that you can get, and in 2014, as well as an Emmy nomination. Let me not forget that for her work on The Mind of a Chef. So I love having lunch here at the Mayflower. It's just so beautiful. If you can't stay overnight, definitely go for a lunch or dinner. And also, if you'd like to go to the spa, you don't have to be a guest at the Mayflower anymore because they welcome you as long as there is availability. You can book some spa services, which is great because you used to have to be a member to go. And the cool thing is in the summer, you can use the pool if you're a guest at the spa, and even if you're not staying overnight. So I absolutely love it there. My next, actually every place is my favorite. This place is so cool. I haven't stayed there overnight yet, but I do hope to do that in the future. Just a short distance away from the Mayflower, we've got Winvian Farm. The accommodations are destinations themselves, 18 unique cottages, plus the Hadley Suite. 15 different architects designed these cottages. Amazing. You can see a little glimpse into some of them. On the bottom right is the helicopter. Yes, there is a helicopter inside one of the cottages. So cool, so fun, but even more amazing, the food. And I love food more than anything else. As much as I love luxury accommodations, spa services, I just love good food. And at Winby Inn, everything that you put in your mouth has been grown in their greenhouses. They have 3 greenhouses on the property. Even the bouquets on their tables will be from their herb and flower gardens. How beautiful, how special. I absolutely love it there. I have booked several people to stay there. I have been told that we can do private events there, all kinds of cool stuff. I'm hoping people will get back there this year. Like they offer mixology classes, pastry making. We can do anything personalized there, and I love that. And I love working with them. Truly amazing. Oh my gosh, 5,000 square foot luxury spa. It just doesn't get better than this. The sun is coming through the windows. I actually can look at the pictures and just fall asleep. It's just so relaxing looking. Just a phenomenal place. You do not need to be an overnight guest to use the spa. I love that you can book services there as well if you're not an overnight guest. And in the summertime, you can use the pool if you are getting services at the spa. Another cool thing, you can bring your kids, you can bring your pets. Oh my gosh, who would think, right? I just love that so many of our Connecticut inns and hotels, the most luxurious, in fact, are welcoming children and pets and all of that. And it's so great. So anyway, but sometimes we want to ditch the pets and the kids, right? So my last recommendation in that area will be a place that doesn't really welcome kids and pets. Here's just a little snapshot of like a quick day trip that you can do from any one of these destinations that I'm recommending. Literally can do a whole nice loop around the area and hit farms, homesteads, landmark homes, all kinds of great shopping, a very cool stone wall in Middlebury, which I think I pointed out there on Tranquility Road on the bottom. But so many cool places to see and very doable in a day trip. I mean, I'd recommend staying for days, but here's just a picture of all my favorite places in Litchfield. There are just so many. I can't go through them all because time is limited. But again, I'm happy to answer questions. There's my favorite Milk House chocolate place, Thorncrest, and a beautiful steeple church and the Abbey and all of that great stuff. But I want to move on because I want to get through all the places that I'd love for you to stay at. I hope you say yes to all of them and make it a point to visit every single one of our beautiful inns and chic boutique hotels. This one is the Hopkins Inn. Oh my gosh, the most fabulous view of all from their patio or from the rooms, from the dining room as well, of Lake Warramog. Just gorgeous. It sits high above the northern shore of Lake Warramog. And this inn has welcomed guests since 1847. The same owners have owned it for the last 40 years. Even their son has been raised at the inn and works there himself. The restaurant has an Austrian cuisine because it reflects the owner's heritage. I love this place. Oh my gosh. And there's a picture of me. You can't see me, but there's my dog walking in. I went there a couple weeks ago. My dog happened to be with me. I had a lovely dinner on the patio. Yes, a nice romantic dinner, my dog and me. It was so great. And we're overlooking the lake. Hopkins Vineyard is next door. So you can do a wine tasting and then come for dinner. But an overnight is a must. I think it's one of those places that everyone should experience if you can. Let's see. And then there's a great room inside. When the weather's not great, there's so many cozy rooms inside with fireplaces and all of that great stuff. But okay, we need to move on here. Oh, before we do move on, I forgot, there are some pictures of the inside. So you can see the view from the dining room. You can see the view from the patio. How fabulous is that? Okay, so now moving on to a place a little further up north, the Manor House Inn. So this place does not allow children or pets, but if you do in fact rent out the entire inn, you can speak to the owners. They might actually be okay with kids under 13 if you have the whole place. I love this location as well. So many hiking trails nearby, a great area to cycle. You can rent an electric bike because it's pretty hilly, as you know, that's why it's called Litchfield Hills. So many great options for dining in the area. The inn only serves a full breakfast in the dining room, but if you want to bring food in from nearby restaurants, they are open to that, which I love. So again, another place to have a reunion with family and friends and just have very, quality time together after so many months of not seeing people. This is just another fabulous place to gather. Let's see, moving on. Okay, now we're in Woodbury, a very beautiful area in the area, and it's also part of the Naugatuck Valley region. I highly recommend 1754 House. The owner, Michael Bates Walsh, acquired it when it was called the Curtis House. He bought this during the pandemic, believe it or not, fully renovated it, had the grand opening. I think it was just a year ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. So amazing. They renovated and opened, and just during the pandemic and everything. Kudos to them. The place is gorgeous, spacious, lovely dining room, great bar. I recently had a meal there at the bar and met some really great people. They were finishing up the beautiful patio downstairs and the tavern. Actually, no, the patio was open. The tavern was still being renovated, but almost completed. I met some great people who told me they had just come from Mine Hill Reserves and just did a hike there. And I learned that they had just come from a vineyard up the road that I didn't know about. So I'm always learning. There's always great places. Unfortunately, the vineyard was closed, but fortunately for me, the bartender was so sweet. He said that he had all the wines from Walker Vineyard and that I could do a tasting right at 1754 House, which I did and loved. Again, here's some more pictures of this fabulous place owned by Michael Bates, who is also the chef. Wonderful. I got to meet him and the general manager, A++ for hospitality. They're all fabulous. And before I end, I just wanted to do a little slide on some of the historic places to visit. The city of Naugatuck is so cool. I highly suggest that you visit the library there. They have tons of guide maps and brochures and so many places and suggestions. I highly recommend it. Beautiful monuments. I mean, you can spend the day just in downtown Norwalk. And if you see at the train station at the bottom is now a restaurant. Excellent food. It's next on my list. I haven't gotten there yet, but I cannot wait. Again, I just want to say that I highly recommend everyone to go to ctvisit.com for additional information on what's going on in Connecticut. Want to know what to do this weekend? Go to CT Visit. They're constantly updating the site. The state is investing a lot in tourism. We completely realize that so many people have moved here. People want to know what to do. People are visiting Connecticut. We've led the way with doing things really well during the pandemic. It's been challenging for everybody. I urge you to be patient with some of the places. If they're short-staffed, but they're all doing a great job. Like I said, the places that I shared tonight, almost 99% of them I visited recently, and I'm so impressed. Again, if you want to visit places just in the Western region, you can go to CT Visit. Search by region, search by activity, search by anything, just about anything. And then here's my information. Please feel free to email me at celebrateConnecticut@gmail.com with any questions. I am happy to share any of the itineraries that I've already put together for past trips. I am open to sharing them with all of you to go and do them on your own, do them with everybody you know, have fun, explore, and say yes to Connecticut. And there's also Stacy's information. So now I turn it over to Frank.
Oh, okay, thanks, Michelle.
I got to stop sharing though.
Yeah, I'll wait till you're done sharing.
Okay.
And Michelle, while we make a transition, we have a question about waterfront dining. So maybe we could just do a quick speed round of some favorites for waterfront dining. For me, it's Red 36 in Mystic and Shell and Bones in New Haven. Wonderful places. Also Fresh Salt in Old Saybrook at the Saybrook Point Inn and Marina. All wonderful places where you're right on the water.
Yeah. And Delamar Greenwich, I love the harbor view there. And again, Hopkins, great view of Lake Warmog. Probably my favorite view of all. Love it. Absolutely gorgeous. If we think of any more, we can always add in the chat too. So I know, if I look through my notes, there's probably so many things I couldn't say or didn't say or stumbled over, but I will add in the chat too. So please keep the questions coming. We're happy to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, so if you've ever heard me speak before, you know I like to point out hidden history. So places that we take for granted, that we drive by without thinking or neglect for other reasons. So today, it's going to be a little talk about Bridgeport, Connecticut. Okay. You know, it's the place that you drive through on your way when you're on your way to somewhere else, or you go for jury duty, or you have your colonoscopy, or you just don't think about it at all. Usually Michelle and I need 3 or 4 hours to give even a taste of Bridgeport's hidden treasures on a tour. But here's a little of what you should seek out and enjoy. Incorporated as a town 200 years ago this year, it became a city just 15 years later. Growing quickly thanks to its port and the coming of the railroad, it soon attracted early manufacturers of the Industrial Revolution. And with that manufacturing power came money, and a tour around the city's old mansions, many parks, and fine monuments bear testimony to that. For most of the 19th and 20th centuries, Bridgeport was a manufacturing powerhouse where many of the objects that made life better were built. Sewing machines, automobiles, typewriters, fans, pianos, toy trains, corsets, Frisbee pies, airplanes, boats, submarines, refrigerators, gauges, shirts, and the list goes on. While many called Bridgeport home, including Elias Howe of sewing machine fame, Bridgeport's most famous resident and adopted son was P.T. Barnum. While Circus Impresario was the first image to come to mind, the circus wintered at today's Went Field in the West End, and you can still see that it's a park now, Went Field. Those elephants are standing, those houses in the background are still standing. Barnum was more than just a showman. Yes, he owned curiosity museums in New York and showcased the talents of Jenny Lind, the Swedish Nightingale, and General Tom Thumb, but he was also an investor in technology and real estate. Old maps of Bridgeport show his name on properties all over the city, and he developed factories, businesses, homes, and parks on all of them. The entirety of East Bridgeport owes its existence to Barnum. Unfortunately, like many other manufacturing towns, in time, cheaper labor elsewhere and growth of suburbs led to its decline. But since before the turn of this century, Bridgeport has been working to make a comeback. New high-tech manufacturers, small-scale makers, and affordable living lofts are taking up the old factory spaces. So, to keep the ball rolling, we can do our part in the simplest way possible, buying into Bridgeport. As with all things, check online for up-to-date COVID protocols. Start with a quick drive-by of some historic sites, including McLevy Hall, where presidential candidate Abraham Lincoln gave a speech in 1860. The Nathaniel Wheeler Memorial Fountain, designed in 1912 by Gutzon Borglum, best known for Mount Rushmore. The Arcade Mall, one of the first enclosed malls in America in the 1880s. Washington Park, with surrounding mansions of Bridgeport's 19th century elites. And the Freeman Houses, the oldest existing homes built by and for free Blacks in Connecticut, recently acquiring enough money to begin restoration. Seaside Park is another reminder of Bridgeport's historic importance. First envisioned by P.T. Barnum, it was designed by famous landscape architects Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux following the Civil War. Over 300 acres of picturesque park offer views of Long Island Sound with several monuments to Bridgeport's movers and shakers who, with Barnum, also made the surrounding area home to their late Victorian mansions. The Perry Arch entrance at the foot of Park Avenue was designed by the architect of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Mountain Grove Cemetery, founded by P.T. Barnum in 1849, is a beautiful museum of the dead. Besides the grave of monument to P.T., an adjacent one to Charles Stratton, General Tom Thumb, Buried here are many of the movers and shakers that made Bridgeport a major industrial and cultural center in the 19th and early 20th centuries. A garden-style cemetery newly popular at its creation, carriageways meander through a park-like setting with large masonry testaments to prosperity and prestige. Look for the Pro Patria monument to Civil War dead. The Barnum Museum was the posthumous gift of PT to his adopted city. Opened in 1893 as the Institute of Science and History, the building went through several transformations over the years. Unfortunately, a tornado in 2010 severely damaged the roof, and the museum was moved to a smaller space behind. COVID put an end to even that, but happily, while the museum is closed, it will be undergoing renovations to bring it back better than ever. In the meantime, at the north end of the city is the Discovery Museum, which, while also closed for COVID, is where you can find Adventure Park, an aerial forest park with its trails in the sky via rope walks, bridges, platforms, ladders, and zip lines. All levels of skill and ages 5 and up are accommodated. The Bridgeport Zoo, Connecticut's only zoo, reopened with CDC guidance. The zoo focuses on animals, insects, and plants of the Americas, but notably has 2 Asian species, Amur tigers and Amur leopards, which are part of a captive breeding program. The zoo is extremely kid-friendly with small-scale exhibits of familiar animals up close and personal, including an opportunity to be a prairie dog. There's also a beautiful old carousel with expertly carved animals to ride. At this time, tickets must be purchased in advance online. Broadway came to Bridgeport in the first half of the 20th century to try out its new productions. Famous stars of stage and screen trod the boardwalks here at places like the Rialto, New Colony, Ritz, West End, Bijou, and the Palace and Majestic, which will hopefully shortly be reborn at their original locations downtown. In the meantime, Bijou, Downtown Cabaret, and the Klein Memorial Auditorium are open, as well as the Stress Factory Comedy Club. Additionally, the Webster Bank Arena is open, and the repurposed Bluefish Ballpark is now the Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater, which will be hosting the Allman Betts Band, Alice Cooper, Kings of Leon, and the Beach Boys. The art scene in Bridgeport, as in so many other urban settings, is the result of people with vision finding new uses for old spaces. The Nest Arts Factory that Michelle mentioned earlier is one such place, a former piano factory now home to artists in multiple media. Another former factory is home to the American Fabrics Arts, named for its former industry, now a building supporting a wide array of artists. Those are only 2 of the many places providing a workspace for artists. City Lights and Ursa Gallery are just 2 of the venues for exhibition that can be found on the Bridgeport Arts Trail website. Dining in the Park City is an embarrassment of choices, from fine dining to diverse local eateries. Dry-aged steak dinners a la New York City's Smith and Walensky can be found. Oh, sorry, my phone is. There goes my phone. Sorry. Smith and Walensky's can be had at Joseph's Steakhouse. Traditional white tablecloth Italian is available at Ralph and Rich's. There's Miss Thelma's Soul Food Restaurant, Eat Noodle and Rice, Moe's Burger Joint, Rum and Tequila Fusion, Brewport Brewing, Taco Loco, Merritt Canteen, and for Seaside Dining, Dolphin's Cove, to barely scratch the surface of the available cuisines Bridgeport has to offer. Captain's Cove Seaport, also Seaside Dining, can be found on Black Rock Harbor. Black Rock's connection to the sea goes back to the earliest colonial days, and Captain's Cove maintains that connection with a full-service marina and the smell of salt air, clanging of ship's bells, and the squawk of gulls. The restaurant is open, the seafood is delicious, and the bar is a repurposed tugboat. And all around are the kitschy nautical themes that make the Cove the kind of place people come back to again and again. There are fishing charters, diving trips, and a sailing school. Hopefully the concerts that were always a big draw will return. And don't miss the tiny shops along the boardwalk. Black Rock was once part of Fairfield, but in the late 19th century, its increasing ties to Bridgeport led to its annexation. The beautiful antique homes along Ellsworth and Brewster Streets and Grover's Avenue harken back to Black Rock's days as an important Connecticut port and the shipbuilding center. Ellsworth Park has a marker noting Black Rock's role as the Connecticut location for the Culper Ring, Washington's spy network during the Revolutionary War. A stroll along St. Mary's by the Sea, named for a long-gone seaside chapel, gives beautiful views of Long Island Sound. Stop by Harborview Market for fresh baked goods, or Bloodroot Restaurant and Bookstore for vegetarian fare with a feminist vibe. The dining choices along Fairfield Avenue and Black Rock are too numerous and varied to do justice to here, but Black Rock Social House, Fire Engine Pizza Company, Timothy's Ice Cream, Bryac Raw Bar, and Bereket Turkish Cuisine are just a few. So Google Discover Black Rock for more. Like I said, I'd need hours to cover everything, so I've just touched on a few spots here, but I hope you got an inkling of what Bridgeport has to offer. If you only plan to jump off the highway for a concert or show, consider having dinner too, or visit a local eatery during your jury duty lunch hour, or take in a museum or art show, or spend a sunny afternoon strolling Black Rock. And spend a little money. The dollars you bring to Bridgeport will bring change to Bridgeport. And that's it. Now I'm going to introduce Kim. She's going to, oh, hold on, I can get rid of my, there we go. Now it's up to you, Kim.
Yeah,
Take it away.
Frank. So it's great to be with you tonight. I am based in the Farmington Valley area of Connecticut and have been a contributing editor at Yankee Magazine for about 8 years now. And so the first thing I want to do is to let you know that if you do not get Yankee Magazine at home or haven't picked up the summer issue at a bookstore, this whole entire year since last spring, when the world really got upended, Yankee decided to make the magazine available free in digital format for everyone online. So do jump over to newengland.com, flip through that digital issue. It's just like looking at a magazine, and you'll get to our editor's choice picks for this summer in New England, including many of my selections for the best of Connecticut, as well as our neighboring states. At Yankee, we've focused very much on outdoor activities, affordable activities this year. So it's a great way to kind of just delve into that information, the places that we would tell our best friends to go. And that's hopefully what I'm going to share with you a little bit here tonight as well. Some of the places, the ones that the people who I'm close to when they constantly ask me for the little insider tips on where to go. We're going to talk first. I'm going to jump to just some visuals because everyone likes to look at beaches and food. I think those are two very important topics. And I also am looking forward to telling you about a little adventure that Michelle and I had last fall that I just learned that you can have this summer. So I'm excited about that. So let's talk about beaches first, because summer is, maybe it's here, maybe it's not. Last weekend it was not. But I see temperatures in the 90s coming our way again next week. So it's time to get away to a beach in Connecticut. And you remember from last summer when people very much made use of Connecticut's state beaches, Hammonasset, Rocky Neck. These places were very, very crowded and very, very full, and sometimes even closed to people coming in because they were so busy. Where are the little secret beaches hidden in Connecticut? The first one I'll mention is Boyce Beach. It's only about 250 feet long, and it is at the tip of Stonington Point in the far eastern part of Connecticut. If you drive down Water Street and just keep driving, you will get there, and you will find free parking, but you will have to pay if you're over 18 to go on the beach. It's $10 per person. Small price to pay for having a very, very quiet spot with an incredible view. And one of the neat things about Du Bois Beach is that it faces west from the tip of Stonington Point. So you can see wonderful sunsets from there. It's kind of our own little mini Watch Hill here in Connecticut. You can walk back up Water Street to visit the cafes and the shops. The Stonington Lighthouse Museum, which is America's oldest lighthouse museum, is right there, walking distance. So if you get there, especially on a weekday or very early on a weekend to get your free parking spot, you can make a day of being right there in Stonington and enjoying all there is in that quiet little hideaway. We're going to jump from there to Jacobs Beach in Guilford. So There's a little bit of a catch with this beach, but I'm going to tell you right away that it's worth it because right around the corner from Jacobs Beach, which is on dead end Seaside Avenue, not the kind of place anybody ever drives by or knows that it's there unless they live in Guilford. The Guilford Lobster Pound is right around the corner from Jacobs Beach. So Guilford Lobster Pound is very, very unique in Connecticut because it's owned by a lobster boat captain who gets his lobsters out of Long Island Sound, which is almost unheard of these days. Most of our lobsters coming to the big lobster destinations in Connecticut are coming from up north. But if you want to eat the freshest lobster you've ever had, caught right off the coast of Connecticut, Guilford Lobster Pound is the place to go. And then, oh, Secret Beach, Jacobs Beach. It's very, very narrow, but very deep. So there's plenty of room to spread out. Beautiful view from here of the lighthouse on Faulkner's Island. The water is just crystal clear, which is something, again, that you can't put a beautiful clear water, beautiful cove. So here's the catch. Jacobs Beach is only open to non-residents who have season passes, but a season pass this year for a non-resident of Guilford is only $25 if you're 55 and up or a veteran. So for $25, you could own a ability to go anytime in your car to this beach. If you're not over 55, it's $70 for the year, which is a little bit more of an investment. But still, if you're a frequent beach goer, beach lover, might be worth looking into. I love Old Saybrook's Harvey's Beach also, which many people don't realize is open to the public because the other town beach in Old Saybrook is for residents only. But you can pay to park at Harvey's Beach. It's $15 Monday through Thursday for non-residents, a little more, $25 Friday through Sunday. But very, very beautiful scenic spot along a tidal river, looking out at the sound. And the secret here is that coastal lands in Connecticut are owned by us. They're owned by the people. So once it's low tide, you can walk along the flats all the way to Town Beach, and you can be an Old Saybrook resident a day. No one knows. If you haven't parked there, you can get to both beaches from Harvey's Beach. So you can take advantage of that little bit of a secret. Also on the shore, I love Walnut Beach in Milford. It's attached by the longest boardwalk in Connecticut to Silver Sands State Park. You might ask, well, why wouldn't I just go to Silver Sands and park there where it's free? Well, the reason is that Silver Sands, like the other state beaches, does get very, very busy. Walnut Beach is more of a community beach, and so it's a little quieter. The secret there is park on the street for $5 for the day. Don't go into the lot at the beach or you'll pay $40 if you don't live in Milford. But if you can get there early, grab a $5 parking spot. There's a lot more going on around Walnut Beach than there is around Silver Sands. You can walk to the Lazy Lobster, get Italian ice on the beach. There's volleyball, a lot of fun. And of course, walk the boardwalk and have that other beach at your disposal as well. And I just want to mention, don't overlook our lake beaches, especially in Litchfield. Michelle mentioned Hopkins Inn, which overlooks Lake Warramog, but there's also a public beach there, and it is open free to Connecticut residents. So a lake beach with very lovely water awaits there. And I also really love Burr Pond State Park in Torrington, which has a great beach, great canoeing and kayaking. If you have a kayak or canoe, very easy put in. And you can paddle out to a little island in the middle of Burr Pond, bring your picnic along and have a romantic or family little tiny gathering on your own island in Connecticut. It's all yours if you have a canoe or kayak with you and can get out into the middle of Burr Pond. So that's a lot of fun. I want to tell you about an adventure. Michelle's here with us too. So Michelle, you could join me and remember this amazing day we spent at Hog Pen Hill Farms. And if you've never heard of this place, it's because it is rarely open to the public. Last fall, the sculptor, Edward Tufte, decided to open his estate for people to come and see his collection of about 100 gigantic works of industrial art, rock art, naturalistic art. There's a real combination here. And Edward Tufte is an amazing, brilliant man who taught at Yale for many years. He taught statistics, computer science, and political science, and is best known as an artist as well. And he's best known for writings and research about data visualization, which is how to take numbers and make them visual. So he's a very right and left brain all going on kind of a person. And the sculptures, you know, Michelle can tell you, we were mesmerized. And we did it all wrong because we had lunch in Woodbury before we went to this property in Woodbury. We should have brought a picnic because we saw people really making the best of being in this 234 acres with 5 miles of trail. You can go, you can bring food in the day. Are extremely expensive. I will warn you, this is by ticket only. The tickets are $80. And there is a short window here from June 12th to July 19th when there are select dates that the estate is open. But wow, this is the kind of place you could drive by the road where the driveway is 1,000 times and never know that we have this here in Connecticut. And it is, if you like art at all, if you like to just, you know, if you like Instagram at all, if you want just amazing photos, this is the place to go this summer during that very limited window. And we'll talk just a little bit. I know we're a bit short on time and I do want to get to some questions. Talk a little bit about food because I think everyone loves food, and Connecticut's dining scene is really evolving in spite of the year that we've had. We had so many interesting openings over the last year and places that have found ways to get very creative. So pizza, you've probably seen the headlines, just named the official state food of Connecticut. And if you're like me, you're kind of going, okay, but I've had the New Haven style pizza at Pepe's and I've gone to Mystic Pizza. That movie was a long time ago. So what's new on the pizza scene in Connecticut? And the answer is Square Peg. And Square Peg has one restaurant at this moment. It's in Glastonbury, but 7 more in the works in Connecticut. The closest one to Reading will be in Orange at Montana Nights Axe Throwing. So you can combine a night of, we call that exercise axe throwing, and pizza. And this is Detroit style pizza. And you can tell just by looking at the picture, this is different. It's rectangular, the crust is chewy, crispy, and the cheese oozes right to the edges. And so Chef Tyler Anderson, who appeared on Top Chef, is one of our best Connecticut chefs, was involved in the early development of this restaurant, which is now expanding statewide. And if you want a different kind of pizza, a different sort of pizza experience, you want to go to Glastonbury at this point. They also have an 80s arcade in the restaurant, which makes it fun, or a drive-through window if you just really want to drive up, get your pizza, and go on your next adventure. I want to talk to you quickly too about the Poe Cafe in Washington, which is Maggie Colangelo's latest project. I wrote about the Poe in the next issue of Yankee. I'm letting the cat out of the bag here a little bit, but my story is about the best places in all of New England for coffee with a view. And so this beautiful little cafe sits on the green in Washington, the town that inspired Stars Hollow of Gilmore Girls fame, with a beautiful view of the white church and civic buildings and private school there. But I want to get back this summer to the Poe because on Friday nights, starting middle of June and straight through Labor Day, they're going to be doing Friday night concerts free on the green. And the Poe is going to be selling these picnic packages that just are phenomenal. They are working very, very hard to bring the local farms into their menus. They've even got a partnership with Flirtation Farms, which is a lavender farm. So you can drink lavender lattes there and other lavender cold brew coffee. So whether it's breakfast bite or going for Friday night concert on the green, it's going to be a fabulous place to be. A couple of other places on my summer dining bucket list. These are the places I can't wait to get to. One is Camacho Garage in New Haven. Arturo Franco Camacho is no stranger to the restaurant scene. I first met him in New Haven at Roomba, his Cuban restaurant, which is sadly no longer there, but he is the chef at Shell and Bones. which is one of the best waterfront dining restaurants we have in Connecticut. And his new project takes him back to his roots. It's a Mexican street food restaurant. And it's themed to look like an auto service shop, a vintage auto service shop. And they are doing these birria tacos. And if you don't know what a birria taco is, it's like the Instagram it food. Look it up. And these are braised meats stuffed in corn tortillas, then fried in the sauce that they were braised in and served with more broth to dip in. They're saucy, delicious tacos. And so if you want to eat the hottest food at one of the hottest new restaurants in Connecticut, Camacho Lodge in New Haven is your place. I'll throw out one more suggestion, just because I think as we start to travel more again, whether it's a day trip in Connecticut or going far beyond our borders, we're all thinking a little bit more thoughtfully about how we travel, where we travel, what resonates, what's meaningful for us. And so there's a restaurant in New Britain, Connecticut, that is called My Wife Didn't Cook. And so it's the cutest name. It is an elevated Southern soul food restaurant. And I want you to go there, not because of the catfish and collards or the hot honey chicken and waffles. These are things that are cuisines that are unusual for Connecticut that you should go try. But because the owners were so incredibly generous and fed hundreds of people free meals during this year we've had, and this is a nice time to think about giving back to the restaurateurs, the people who went above and beyond during a very, very difficult year, and to support what they're doing. My Wife Didn't Cook opened a place in the Buckland Hills Mall in Manchester as well. So they have a second outlet, and we'd love to see them do well, as with all of the restaurants that are getting back on their feet this year. We're going to jump, I think, to questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can all be together here and I can see the chat, and let's jump in.
Maybe I'll share a couple of kid-friendly places, because that came up, that people who live here are actually looking for some things to do with their kids. Lake compounds, quasi, great amusement parks. Obviously they're pretty well known, but quasi is very doable, very small. So if you have young children, it's a great amusement park to take them to. It's not overwhelming. And there's so much else in the area. I think I mentioned that Thorncrest was one of my favorite farms. You can actually arrange for your kids to milk a cow there. They can get up close and personal with the cows. Also not too far away, because I'm thinking Quasi and Middlebury, and then all around the Litchfield area is the conservatory that I mentioned, the waterfowl. I brought many kids there. If you like birds and all kinds of rare species, I think kids find that fascinating. Again, I forgot to mention, when in Norwalk, if you can't get to the aquarium, you want to go on a boat trip and you want to check out Sheffield Island. I did mention lighthouses, and I think kids of all ages, and adults obviously as well, love lighthouses. You could actually tour the lighthouse at Sheffield Island. So again, the aquarium might take up a lot of hours of your time, but if you don't have a whole lot of time, Sheffield Island is a great spot. It's a short ferry ride from downtown Norwalk on I think Water Street. RPM Raceway, if you're looking for the go-kart experience, a lot of kids like it there. There's a lot I think they've got a lot of arcade games as well. So if it's a rainy kind of day and you want to just take the kids someplace indoors, that place is a really nice place to keep them busy and occupied and having fun. So many hiking trails are so doable with kids, I think, in Connecticut. So many of them aren't so crazy steep, but I think kids love to climb. They love to hike. I highly recommend reaching out if that's something you're interested in. I have a go-to person for all hiking trails in Connecticut. A friend of mine has hiked every single trail in Connecticut. So let's see here. You want to, I don't know. But anyway, and also New London, there's some, and I don't know if they're suspended still, but the lighthouse tours, you could see 8 lighthouses on one of the New London lighthouse tours. I think kids like that as well. And Nautilus, if it's not open yet, when it does open again, I highly recommend taking your kids to see the nuclear powered submarine. That is a museum and fascinating.
And while we're talking about New London, my daughter is a student at Connecticut College, and few people know that the Connecticut College Arboretum is open to the public, completely free. There is a wonderful bog walk, a beautiful lake there. That it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous 700 acres that people don't know is open space, beautifully, beautifully maintained pathways, so easy walking, and wonderful place again to take a picnic. There's a gazebo where you could sit by the water, picnic, and enjoy that beautiful planted area. All of the trees are labeled. It's a great learning experience and something to do for free in New London.
Yeah, and just short distance away, you've got Mystic, the aquarium, the shipyard, the museum. So many exhibits throughout the year, many of them geared toward kids. You could always ask for a docent. You may not know that. When I bring people and families to Mystic, I always try to arrange for a docent to meet us on some of those big ships, the Charles Morgan. It just makes it so much more engaging for the kids, and it's not that expensive to do that. They also have fabulous box lunches at in their dining facility that are inexpensive and delicious. So I think Mystic's also a great place to bring your kids. And as far as fishing experiences or water experiences, those are all over as well. But I actually have to say, I really highly recommend kayaking around the Thimble Islands. That's another big hit with maybe some older kids, teenage kids, because it's a little, it's not the easiest thing to do. And you need to be kind of strong, but really fun. But if you don't want to do the kayaking, you could just hop on the Thimble Island cruise and take a cruise around the islands. It's so much fun. Kids, adults, everybody loves that trip. Another fantastic outing.
We have a question, Michelle, about golf courses, and I am not a golfer, but I can tell you that there's a another hidden golf course in Connecticut. Is at the Hotchkiss School, which is a private school in the western part of the state. So again, a lot of people don't know that they can play that 9-hole course. It does have a famous designer, and I'm not going to make a mistake of telling you who it is, but look it up. It is a gorgeous course and affordable. And people don't realize, because it's at a private school, they don't realize that the public is invited to play. And so double check that for this year. Again, we're still evolving out of COVID. So some places that have been closed to the public are reopening to the public. But in normal times, that's a great course to discover.
Yeah, and if you're you want a challenging golf course, a public course in Danbury, Richter Park, 18-hole golf course open to the public. I forgot to mention that, probably because I was running through so quickly. So again, please reach out at any point, even after tonight, if I can answer any questions. And if I can't, I'll call Frank and Kim.
We are always here, yes.
Yeah, but lots of great places to hike all over the state. It's been my goal to kind of hit them all, and I've only hit a handful of places, but just all different levels. I think if you want something flat, there are so many places like White Memorial. If you want something a little steeper or you want a view, you can go up to Haystack. Again, there's just so many choices depending on your ability level. And what you're looking for, if it's a view, if it's just exercise or whatnot. And I hope you will vacation in Connecticut. I hope even if you live here, you'll take advantage of some of the places that I mentioned, because some of us, it's stressful to travel far. So sometimes you can just have an overnight in a local place and feel like you've had that vacation. When I did day trips, people would tell me even that day trip experience, it felt like a vacation for them. It gave them, the energy to face the daily grind the next day. So oftentimes that's just what you need, is an overnight close by, with no stress in travel, a quick drive somewhere, whether it's an hour or two. Again, the state is small, but sometimes you can see the state through the eyes of a tourist if you actually stay overnight at one of the accommodations. It's a whole different view. Frank and I, when we do our trips together, what's nice for me is I do the organizing part, and then I get to sit back and listen as he talks about all these wonderful places. And then I see so many of the places that I even drive by so many times, but I don't see them with the same eyes. I see them with the, the eyes of a tourist, and it's so much fun. And so I highly, recommend that you try to do that, in the coming months.
Michelle, there's a request. If you could you type your email in the chat?
Oh, sure.
And then also Mary Ellen asks if you're still doing your day trips.
So I put those on hold for now, but I am happy to work with groups privately. So if you are interested and you have a group, I mean, even a group is the size, 2 people is fine. I'm happy to work with you privately. I'm not putting any bus trips online because I'm not really sure how many people at this point are that comfortable getting on a bus with other people. Again, we're just going to see how it goes, but please feel free to reach out. I will share. Like I said, I'm not, my itineraries that I created are for everybody. I don't mind sharing.
I think your email is I think it's just a panelist, so I'm going to copy it.
Oh, thank you. I think I've been doing that all along and I didn't know how or why. I am so sorry.
So I think it shows up now to panelists and attendees.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
So, and I just want to remind people that the recording of this will be on the Mark Twain Library's YouTube channel. So if you go to the Mark Twain Library main webpage, you scroll down a little bit and you click YouTube, and you can see all the past programs. And so even like if there's a certain part of this program that you want to find, whether it's the slide with Michelle's email address or a certain restaurant or a certain location that Kim or Frank or Michelle talked about, you can just use that recording, fast forward and rewind through it to get the information again.
And I will also share the link. Some people may have registered tonight. They got an email from me. If you subscribe to my website, I'll share the link as well. That makes it easier for people.
Thank you. There's one more question I see. What happened to Litchfield Open House Day in July? Included a house tour. I missed that.
Okay, so I think they changed it and it might not be happening in July. I feel like I have to find out what the final consensus on that was. Because I never understood why they held it in July, to be honest, with the heat and all that. But who asked that question? Because maybe I can address that when I call some of my friends over there.
It's an anonymous question, so
okay.
we can't track you down.
Yeah, sorry, I'll have to look into that because I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously last year there wasn't anything going on. I think they had it the July before, but I was always hoping they'd move it to the fall.
Oh, and Maria just has helping us out here. I'm a native of Litchfield, whose home was on the tour. The Litchfield Aid no longer holds that event.
Oh, that is such a bummer.
Oh,
wow.
Thank you, Maria.
Maria, maybe you can share your old address and we could go visit and see just driving down the main street or downtown, the center of town of Litchfield. I mean, you can do a self-guided car tour on your own and let's see, show fundraiser. Yeah, that I don't know about, but yeah, that is a bummer. But I think you can do a self-guided tour in Litchfield and right, Kim, wouldn't you say we've been there recently? And I think looking up information online. Again, if you want an itinerary in Litchfield too, I'm happy, and maybe Maria can tell us some of the houses that we should research for the historic value and for the architecture and all of that.
Okay, thank you. I see for a future question, someone's interested in where to swim inland, freshwater in Connecticut. So yeah, we'll lots of ideas, and if the Mark Twain Library is lucky enough to bring this trio back again, we'll be very appreciative, and we'll be able to talk about new adventures, new places as we continue to hopefully open up. So if there's anything else that you guys want to add.
So the swim question is inland. Is my understanding it correctly? So off the shoreline in lake.
That's freshwater, right?
Yeah, Candlewood Lake I know is a very popular lake. It's very big. I have not been to that beach in a bit, so I'm not going to speak to how crowded it gets or what it costs. I could probably we could probably easily find that out. Again, the Hopkins Beach, I know that's a small, private beach. I think you probably have to either live there though, or stay at the Hopkins Inn, which, gives you access to that. I'm trying to think, let me think if I can run through some notes.
But the state park, there is a beach at the state park at Lake Warramug as well as Burr Pond is a great, and Mount Tom. That area of Litchfield, there are a lot of freshwater beaches at state parks, and they are open free to all Connecticut residents this season, which is a huge plus for us.
Thank you, Kim. And I know they have all those water sports available on a lot of those lakes too. Paddleboarding, kayaking, all that great stuff.
Well, Michelle, Frank, and Kim, we can't thank you enough. Really appreciate your time and your expertise, your enthusiasm, your love of all things Connecticut. A lot of thanks coming your way. So for now, I think we'll wrap it up.
Great. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Happy summer.
Happy
Thank
summer,
you, guys. Safe travels, everyone.